place to be unknown, discovered by my own. Raise your glass and sing along. So raise your glass, your home's where you belong. Feel the love, my brother, sing along. Celebrate and drinking all night long. Feel the earth moving. Just let it in and let it out. Into a new raise a glass and oh, the night is gone and so there's a light that leads into a world, a place to be unknown, discovered by my own. Raise a glass and sing along. So raise your glass, your home's where you belong. Feel the love, my brother, sing along. Celebrate and drinking all night long. Feel the earth moving. Just let it in and let it out. Into a new
Oh,
along. So raise your glass.
All right, we're live. I would really, everyone, first of all, want to make sure you can hear me. You can hear Sasha because I'm using a new mic. Sasha, would you mind saying some stuff? That is so rude.
I know. I'm such an asshole. We're starting this off really well.
Oh my goodness. So yes, please reassure us.
Hearing is good. Audio is good. Boom, boom, boom.
Fabulous.
Blue.
I love it. Thank you. So before we started, we were doing some stretches. I don't know.
Big stretches for a big Arcana check stream.
Oh my god. There's so
everyone stretch. It's been a long day.
So much.
I deserve it.
So much.
We're actually gonna do wellness here. Like I'm taking Andrea's energy and like feeding it back into the stream in her stead.
I love your Illuminati background.
Thank you. I wanted to match you in color scheme, if not in and yeah. And I know your favorite thing is the Illuminati. I'm saying strangely unsouthern bellish. Well, I could change that, sugar. If you'd like me to do the whole stream in the voice, I would, because it'll get me really ready for Sunday. Maybe this time I won't lose it halfway through a sentence.
I was about to say, I was like, Pittsburgh has a South, but then I was like, I don't think Squirrel Hill is the South, but...
I did grow up in South Squirrel Hill, though, which is the poor Squirrel Hill.
Squirrel Hill has a South. So, yeah.
It does.
She can be a Southern belle.
From the Paris of the Rust Belt, as they say.
Is that what...
I've heard that, yeah. I haven't heard it in a long time, but it stuck with me as something that I find hilarious. And also something that we could hold over fucking Ohio.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of... I think it's like it's the chain of being, isn't it? Where, you know, it's like, at least we're not Ohio, and then Ohio is like, at least we're not Indiana, and then Indiana is like, I ate an entire butter sculpture today.
Now, they always have Arkansas and Louisiana to look down on.
Yeah, I suppose.
Alabama? I can't remember which one's always bottom of everything. Alabama or Arkansas, one of those two.
I think it's Alabama. I'm pretty sure it's Alabama.
Alabama. And Alabama is the worst at literally everything. And then Louisiana is like right above it because a good friend of mine is from Louisiana. And I went there for her wedding, and I can tell you, yeah.
I went to grad school in Louisiana, and it was an interesting experience. I don't even know where to begin on that one. It's very different. I felt a bit of culture shock when I first moved there. Oh, yeah. Wait, at least we weren't Confederates. Who weren't Confederates?
Yeah, who's we?
Yeah.
Cosmo.
Is that, I'm like, Ohio? Or, actually, what? I don't know which side Ohio is on now that I say that. I think they were? Oh, the northern states.
The states.
I am genuinely tempted. I'm like, gonna pull out my phone. I'm gonna be like, let's find out. I feel like there are some surprises in there.
I feel like Ohio was the Union. It's right next, it's up there. Pennsylvania was Union.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Pennsylvania for sure.
We got that going for us.
I just feel like...
Speaking of this, I feel like Emily, I was wondering, like, plaid on an Illuminati background isn't, like, particularly a thing. And then she's like, you're an Illuminati lumberjack. And I'm like, just for that, I will keep it.
Yeah. Remember when the term lumbersexual was a thing? Like, someone who's, like...
Yeah.
looks like a hot lumberjack.
I feel like in some corner of the internet, it's very much still a thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, hi everyone.
Hi.
How's everyone doing? Cosmo Gooblu, Spoon.
Hello.
Edwin, Sandgod Snake. I saw Interiority there. I wonder if he's stuck around with us. No, he's not. He's fucked off. That's fair enough.
That is fair enough.
And someone in Rivington. Hi, Rivington. I don't know you, but I'd like to.
Yes, hello. Welcome. Oh, I'm glad you have a day off tomorrow, Spoon.
Yeah, me too. Technically, I still have to do a couple things, but, like, close enough.
Can, like, just coast down. I looked it up. So, yeah, Ohio was in the Union. It's West Virginia, Kentucky, and Missouri that I guess are... Oh, and Maryland that are kind of wibbly wobbly with respect to, it says border states.
Wibbly wobbly.
Yeah, they...
Timey-wimey. Illuminati. Adi.
Adi, 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 adi. Oh my god, can you imagine if our first copyright strike was just me muttering Megan Thee Stallion under my breath? We're gonna get reported. But yeah, no, so this is like a Talks and Arcana check crossover episode. We missed our spooky things conversation earlier this week because unfortunately my familiar, my cat, needed some emergency medical attention, but he is in good shape now. He's pulled through. He is a trooper. He is too ornery to die, as it turns out.
As can we quote the
Oh, yeah. So I got his medical report back, and I was reading over it kind of to get a sense of what what the vet had to say about everything with respect to what was going on with him. And actually, wait, I have it here. Hold on. He had a cardiology consult, but we were unable to perform an echocardiogram because he got his spice back.
Hashtag Sly got his spice back.
Thank you, Sangos Whitesnake. I'm glad he's okay too. I love my cat, but I also am aware that my cat is well, when they say he got his spice back, what that means is he decided
Tried to murder everyone.
Yes. As I was looking for, I forget what, I was looking for the time that you were coming back on your flight back to DC.
Mm-hmm.
And I came across something from the last time that Sly was ill, and I said, he has big, I'm taking this plane down and taking everyone with me energy. Yeah. That's his vet vibe, and I'm not there to calm him down, so it's even worse.
I don't think you could do it even if you were there, but...
I don't know. I did a good job for that one X-ray.
Fair enough.
But yeah, he hates me. He hates everyone.
He fucking hates you. There's already copyright strike.
Puddle of mud. Oh my goodness.
I want to circle back and say, Irvington, oh hi. Oh hi back.
Oh hi!
Tell us how you are and like what life's about. Who Blue doing crazy fan art? I know, I've seen.
Oh my gosh.
That's fair.
I love it.
It's pretty crazy fan art. It's pretty great. And Nazmo, congratulations on the job again.
Yay!
Big deal.
Super big.
We've been the goblins are very mutually supportive, and we like kind of like post these updates. And I know it's like, yeah. I mean, 2020's been fucking rough on everyone.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think those little victories are huge.
Sometimes big victories.
And sometimes, the new work from home job, big victory, for sure.
So yeah, we don't really have a yay live streams. I mean, look, this one is so exciting. I bet you're really happy you can catch this one. But our plan of attack, did we even have one? So it's played Benedict on Revington. We're gonna be best friends now.
I just
because that is exactly the reference I'm going for. Emily's known this. I've been like chasing down people for like 10 years since I don't even know. It's been more than that. I think 17. I watched Much Ado for the first time, and I became obsessed with it. Not obsessed, but like really, really enjoyed it, and I like learned portions of it essentially by heart. And so I've been chasing down, waiting for someone to feed me the lines. Ah, my dear Lady Disdain, are you yet living? And then I would like do the whole speech, and it would be great. Immediately, you're my best friend. Just want you to know that. You know, the mods are great and all, but
I have been usurped, but rightfully so in this case. I realized our chat is not streaming on the actual like stream.
Oh, you're right. It's just a little shadowed box where the chat should be. To be fair, it's always really tiny, so I don't know that it was adding that much.
Yeah, but I don't know. I was getting kind of cranky about it, so I'm hoping that what I've just done fixes the problem. Being in charge of the tech is distracting. It's no fun.
Chat is right at the bottom. It has popped up in a couple of times.
Yay! Verbal sparring! Sasha, I am looking forward to this for you. I'm loving this journey for you.
Thank you. Oh my god. Like, it's only taken 13 years to age myself, but like, everyone here knows how old I am. I yelled about it enough on Twitter. Like, my birthday's a big deal, okay? Okay, so things are showing up in the chat box occasionally is what people are very helpfully telling us.
Maybe it's like on a lag or something. I don't know. I'm gonna keep an eye on it. I'm gonna be like doing this and figure it out.
It's like using a background thing makes it really tricky.
Yeah.
I can't tell if like, yeah. See, fingers keep disappearing. I'm watching myself now. Anywho, how was the nun game?
The nun game was fun. You know, I know I said this after we got to the end of it, but I felt bad that basically the nun game devolved into a beautiful love story and me trying to figure out trains.
I'm really sorry. We just like betrayed you. Just
It's
like
fine.
left you out to dry.
It's fine.
No loyalty among nuns.
You know, honestly, it ended up fine. I was surprised that, you know, you guys lasted that long without doing that. I didn't necessarily set out to make her Dougal-ish, but I think I defaulted to Dougal-ish.
Mm-hmm. Should probably specify Father Dougal, because I know what you mean by just saying Dougal.
Oh, I'm sorry, yes, Father Dougal McGuire.
Especially Dougal-ish. And for I think the only person in this chat who didn't see it or doesn't know, we played a game called What Have You Done, Run, Nun, Run.
Yes.
On
Sorry, in the chat, I am so sorry for drinking too much and mansplaining the DLR for literally 2 hours. Oh my god.
It was wonderful. We love that you're so engaged in both the drinking and the DLR. I still don't know what DLR stands. I just pretended
District
I knew
Light
what the
Rail.
Did what? Line rail?
I think it's District Light Rail.
Oh, District Light Rail. Commitment to the whole stream for the accuracy of TFL.
Yeah.
TFL? Train Force London?
Docklands. I'm sorry, not District. Docklands. I apologize.
Docklands Light Rail. Docklands. Now it's. I thought it would be like London Rail or something. That was my guess. And then Transport for London. No, it's definitely Task Force London or something like that. Train Force. It's Train Force, like Ground Force, but with trains. And Alan Titchmarsh hosts it.
Space Force, Train Force.
I want Ellen Titchmarsh and Jeremy. I'm sorry, everyone hates Jeremy Clarkson. But for Train Force, it would have to be them co-hosting. That just has to be the case.
So I don't know.
You ever see Ground Force?
I don't think so. No, actually.
Okay, so you know all those like home improvement shows where like they make someone go away and they redecorate everything and then they come back and surprise them, right? This is like big thing on
Yeah.
TLC and stuff. You know the changing rooms?
Mm-hmm.
Do you? That was a very unconvincing.
Wait, you said do you know changing rooms?
Yes, not like as.
Changing the rooms over, changing them stylistically, or do you?
It was a t-shirt. It was a t-shirt. It was a TV show. I'm really sorry. I'm only like one of these deep, and it's quite small. I'm just it's just very late here. Trading Spaces was the American spinoff.
Yeah.
Okay, so it started off as changing rooms in these UK and then Americans. Yes, we are very Father Ted aware. We will get there.
We'll circle back.
Yeah.
We'll circle back to that.
And oh god. Anyway, for whatever reason, my father's second wife was really into these shows, Ground Force and Changing Rooms, and so that was kind of some of my early UK awareness. So like quite young and like Monty Python, fine, but then also those two shows. So anyway, it was quite wholesome. There were some personalities that came out of it. Most notably Lawrence Llewellyn Bowles from Changing Rooms and Aldrich Marsh from Ground Force, and this is really boring now. But it's funny in the context of Train Force London, co-hosted by Jeremy Clarkson and Aldrich Marsh.
I'm just imagining him.
Those women were in the nip.
Now I'm imagining
Sorry,
him.
Do a much better accent. I'm just gonna offend people.
The nip. Oh my
I
gosh.
love the one like a lot of hairy babies on this island, and I think you are the hairy baby maker. Went a bit northern there, didn't it?
Oh my god. Two things. One, with Jeremy Clarkson, I'm just imagining what he does to his cars in the special, but he's doing it to the DLR, so he's like filling the DLR with Egyptian cotton for some reason.
But then there's a water feature because it's Ground Force, and like really nicely you planted.
Obviously. That would improve the DLR experience, I think. I don't know. I was not a fan of the DLR, but you know what? It's there. It functions. Someone was saying that they love the DLR in the chat during the Nun game, and I was like, oh, that's weird. Cool. I don't know, but we were talking about Father Ted. Similarly, I was in the shower a couple days ago, and
Well
I
done.
just thank you. I bathed. I washed myself.
I'm not that surprised.
I didn't have anyone help me this time. But just that first episode of Bridget and Eamon popped into my head, where I was just like hearing dialogue about being a condom dealer, and I was just like, not now. I've got other things to do. This is me shampooing my head and talking to myself.
It's been a long lockdown, indeed. And all we can think about is Ground Force. Oh, I see the chat now. It's like really far down. Sorry, I'm not going to distract us with this nonsense. But yes, Bridget and Eamon and Father Ted and Alan Titchmarsh. No, I don't think it could ever be a long enough lockdown for Ellen Titchmarsh. Sorry, love.
Okay, but yeah, Spoon's saying if I try transport anywhere else, I'll love the DLR afterwards. That sounds fair. I believe you. I know nothing. I'm like Jon Snow. Jon Snow.
Snow.
I don't want it.
I don't want it. Oh yes, actually, okay. Here's Sangha Snake. Genuinely, I think you've missed, because I haven't emphasized it in the actual game. Also, Irvington, about playing a different game by Ursa. I think it's Ursa Dice, but I always want to say Ursa Dice. That's how I read it in my head.
Ursa Dice.
Well, yeah, exactly. There's a tango song, Ursa Dice, I mean. And that's all I can hear. Tell us which one you played, because I didn't play, but the others played the Penguin, anti-capitalist Penguin one, which was a lot of fun to watch, and I would love to play it sometime. Anyway, this is a side note about, but the Keeping Appearances and Mrs. Bouquet. My character's name, Mirabelle Mountain Goo or something, it's pronounced Montague, and it's a very direct reference to the bucket bouquet thing. I've never watched a ton of it, but I've watched just enough to understand. My thing was, I loved, and I have 2 seasons on DVD of, Are You Being Served?
Oh,
yeah.
I'm free.
Mr. Humphreys.
Oh my goodness, all of these old shows from over there.
Yeah.
Just watching a lot of Red Dwarf on PBS.
I'm glad you put that in buried. Are You Being Served, do you mean? Oh, but it's brilliant. It's so stupid and funny. There's an intruder. Please take my body, but leave my jewels alone.
There was an American Red Dwarf once. I did not know that, and it makes me very sad and upset.
Interesting.
Because it makes me sad and upset because generally speaking, when we get a hold of your sorts of shows, we ruin them somehow. Pretty consistently.
Taskmaster didn't do well here.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of other stuff that's like that just didn't make the jump so well.
True, Spoon. True.
Yeah.
Every single time except for that one time.
There was an American IT crowd? How? What?
Was there?
No. Better not be.
I can't imagine it.
I don't know.
I always think of like I think Friends came first, but I always think of Coupling as like the British Friends.
Oh, God.
Oh, it's awful. Oh no, that does sound awful. I mean, I feel like they could have kind of maybe.
American Broadchurch. Jeez. Oh, no.
They won't learn. It's like all these things are fantastic, but then Americans are just, I mean, not to speak ill of ourselves, not good with that kind of sense of humor.
That is true. But what if we take a British thing that doesn't work? Like, when you
Oh.
multiply a negative times a negative, it makes a positive.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of something that was objectively not the best.
My first thought for some reason was Piers Morgan, but I was like, we have plenty of those already. And unfortunately, it's the same. There is no multiplication or change there. Mrs. Brown's voice. I keep hearing about this show, and I have never tried it, mostly because I hear it in a very negative context. No specific to UK cast, but they cast Hollywood attractive people as Jen and Roy. Oh, I see. I mean, like, you know, if they're funny, I guess that's okay, but it's not ideal. I agree.
Love Thy Neighbor. I don't know Love Thy Neighbor.
I think the really weird, awkward, bumbling, self-deprecating nature of these characters, especially like IT crowd, like just doesn't work with super attractive people.
Yeah, and yeah, like I don't know. There's just I think too just a lot
Crispy
about
Goth.
Crispy Goth. Hello.
Still one of my favorite usernames, just because it sounds awful. It just sounds really unpleasant.
I mean, is it I don't know. Any thought I have, I'm just like goth with a lot of crisps. Goth that is crispy
like,
as an individual.
I end up thinking of crust punks, actually. Like a crusty goth. That's really what I end up thinking about.
Gotcha. That's a thing. I saw along the lines of spooky shit. I saw a special on TV, I want to say last year, the year before, where this crust punk was insisting that he had met the Count of Saint Germain. I don't know if you're aware of the whole Count of Saint Germain mythology. Okay.
I am not.
So, this is another one where, like, I'm like, I already fucked up the DLR, and I feel like I'm about to get some facts very wrong with the Count of Saint Germain, so I'm going to rely on the chat to correct me when I do things that are incorrect. So the Count of Saint Germain situation is they're doing a U.S. Ghosts. No, but they don't have they don't have the force of the Horrible Histories cast behind it, among other issues. Ugh.
It's like when they did the what's the other what's that? Oh. It's very different. I really shouldn't even bring this up, but I haven't seen Ghosts yet. So the only thing I can I really think about is what's that TV show that was British and they made it American and it had your favorite Adrian Turner.
Aidan Turner, Being Human.
Being Human. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, some people liked that show in American. I preferred the British one.
Mm-hmm.
But let me tell you about this crust punk friend, the Count of Saint Germain. So this dude is purportedly an alchemist who had discovered the secret to eternal life. And you usually hear people like the time period that people often write about him would be like Voltaire time period, because Voltaire did write about him. But you know, I want to say that he purportedly was born in I want to say Romania, but I feel that's wrong. In the 1600s. I'm gonna have to look it up, but basically, the idea is that he continues to be alive to this day, reinventing himself and just being a nut job. In some stories, he's a vampire. In New Orleans, for example, some people say that the Count of Saint Germain, like attacked a lady, and she like ran and was like, a vampire tried to attack me, and it was the Count of Saint Germain. But yeah, this crust punk was like, I was on a train once. I was like riding the train, and this guy was like, I'm the Count of Saint Germain, and he totally was, man. And I was like, amazing. I'm gonna look this up now though, because I want more accurate details here. I didn't come ready to be talking about the Count of Saint Germain, and his immortal bullshit. Okay. His birth is estimated to be somewhere in the range of 1691 to 1712. And his death, according to Wikipedia, is in 1784. If you believe Wikipedia, if you believe sources.
You think he would have just like died right before the revolution in France? I don't think so.
Yeah. Oh, and birth and background obscure, but toward the end of his life, he claimed he was the son of the Prince of Transylvania, because of course.
I know who he is. I know who it is.
Who?
Emily, obviously. It's Tommy Wiseau. Tommy Wiseau is the fucking Count of Saint Germain, and you know I'm right.
I can't argue with that, actually. Why not? I would. I'm sorry, that concept has broken me. I feel like if he were the Count of Saint Germain, though, surely he would have more resources available than, to him to make more things like the Room.
He's too quirky, though. He's too insane. He's too Count of Saint Germain-y. Like, this is his legacy.
Yeah, I suppose.
And it specifically had to be just like this, or else it wouldn't be true to him.
Yeah, it has to be mysterious.
Indeed.
It's funny. So I'm looking for more information on Wikipedia about his alleged immortality. In order to deflect inquiries as to his origin, he would often make far-fetched claims, such as being 500 years old, leading to Voltaire sarcastically dubbing him the Wonder Man, and, quote, he is a man who does not die and who knows everything.
Tommy Wiseau! He constantly, will not tell anyone where he's from. He keeps saying that he's American, he's not from anywhere else.
Yeah.
He obfuscates his origins.
He does do that quite deliberately. Hi, doggy, you're my best customer. You're our favorite, whatever it is. I think of that scene.
I don't remember it, but I'm now gonna have to find a quote online, something about him being really old. I bet you he said some batshit crazy stuff like that.
Oh, he originally claimed to be French. Huh.
So our good friend Michael went to so he's from LA, and he went to every midnight screening of The Room once a month, just every month it was how he and his friends would go, and Tommy would always be there and speak. So and I think actually it turns out he and his friends coined some of the most popular, one or two of the most popular call outs for those showings.
Yes.
I can't remember which ones they were. Do you remember?
Fuck that. Navel. I know that one.
That sounds like him.
Yeah, that's one of them. I don't know the other one offhand. I could ask him, but I don't really know. I don't know where he is, and I feel like, I'd have to get up and just open the door, and you'd hear me yell Michael!
Michael, talk to us about Tommy Wiseau.
What do you yell at The Room? He's been through the ringer. I believe that. I believe that wholeheartedly. I also am going to go back a bit, and so other historical magi or magicians or what have you, was Casanova purportedly magic? I might have missed.
In some ways.
He allegedly had what some would refer to as the magic stick. Supposedly he was. You know, honestly, one thing I will say is he got up to some like shenanigans. Casanova is not fictional. He got up to some major shenanigans, including like being a spy and escaping prison. If I recall correctly, I want to say he just put on nice clothes and walked out.
That tracks.
Almost like if you're carrying a clipboard, how people are like, "Oh, you're supposed to be here." He was just like, "Bye," and they're like, "Oh, clearly this man is not a prisoner here."
How did he get the nice clothes? Did you just have them in his cell?
I don't know, and I might be
need
remembering that
details.
wrong. I might be. All right. I'll pull out my phone. Casanova prison escape.
Rasputin, Rasputin is historically considered to be insane. Like the fact that he wouldn't die was the major thing about Rasputin.
So
like,
hard to kill Rasputin.
They invited, I can't remember exactly, but like a group of the nobles invited him over for like dinner and drinks, and then as soon as he like got there, they stabbed and shot him a bunch of times and threw him in the river, and he still survived.
Yeah, it's madness. Oh, or I'm sorry. Did you? While I was pulling up more information about
Rasputin, indeed.
Yes. Did you mention like the whole trying to poison him?
No, I didn't.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. As per usual, Sanka's Whitesnake is just like is psychically linked to my brain, or vice versa. But yes, they tried poison first, because he wouldn't stop fucking everybody's wives, and they didn't take kindly to that.
Honestly, the ultimate end to Mirabelle and farce is what I'm expecting. If anyone wants to know about this, the backstory that I have not actually gone into is basically she kept having to go to temple because she was unpopular after a little bit for some reason, and she doesn't understand why.
Sorry, I'm like prison escapes.
Yeah.
What?
I vaguely know some things, but Emily has a much better memory than I do. So yeah, I think they tried poisoning first, and then like they wouldn't die, and then they like chased him out and like shot him in the snow, and then something else.
Oh yeah, gosh, I don't fully remember. Like there were so many attempts to kill him that I'm like I don't even remember what finally did it. But Casanova escaped by making a hole in the ceiling of the cell and kind of like lowering himself down into the courtyard and running away.
I love it. I love it so much.
That which is also very epic. I wonder, am I thinking of a different time that he escaped from prison, or am I thinking of someone else who just walked out? Either way, like I'm just saying, like dude got up to some stuff. He claims responsibility for inventing the French national lottery. Here's the other thing though. So a lot of the stuff we know about Casanova is from like his memoirs, and the thing about his memoirs is like I guess I'd call him like a brat almost. He's a bit of like, he's very self-aggrandizing and everything else. Like you get a certain way in and you're kind of like, I don't think half of this is true, or like I feel like this is exaggerated. There were a couple of times, like the prison escape, for example, where I was reading that chapter and I was like, oh, bullshit, you did. And then I looked it up and I was like, oh shit, okay, I'm sorry. There's apparently record of that. I saw a play about him. They asked if Rasputin really had magical powers, and the director was like, well, he just survived all those attempts.
Apparently he did. It was a shame how he carried on. What do I want to say? Really random things to just throw out there, then move on to more things. People who know things, because I only know like little snippets of facts without actually being able to build on them like you can. But I started reading the autobiography of Salvador Dali at some point. I was like 13.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I was really pretentious in school. At some point, at like 12 years old, decided no more young adult novels for me. I'm only going to read serious classical literature, and that's all I did for the rest of high school.
Me too.
And that's why we're friends. Because we used to be really pretentious, but also have an appreciation for these things legitimately. But I was a bit of a dick about it as well. And so I tried reading Salvador Dali autobiography, and there's a whole chapter on childhood memories that never happened. And some of the images from that still kind of stick in my brain. Not well enough to like, it's kind of like a fever dream, which is exactly how those memories actually played out.
Mm-hmm.
But then, yeah, right after that was a series, just kind of reminded me of this Casanova autobiography story. And then immediately after that was childhood memories that did happen, and they were much more banal.
You know, it's funny that you say childhood memories because one of the chapters from his memoirs that really stuck with me because I thought, I don't know, there was something compelling about it. I can't put my finger on why it's compelling, but basically, as a child, he had chronic nosebleeds.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I've already told you about this one. But he basically, and anything that was tried, it didn't help, it didn't stop it. And then there was one night that his grandma was like, hey, I'm gonna do some shit, don't tell your mom. And which is like how all good stories start when your grandma says like don't tell your parents. It's like, oh, okay. And she like takes him in a boat and they just like, you know, are going through Venice or whatever, and he goes to this like mysterious witch's home and she puts him in a trunk and is like, all right, I'm gonna do some shit, don't
tell your mom.
First of all, don't tell your mom, but second of all, like whatever happens, don't let yourself out of the trunk. Like don't try to look, don't try to figure out what's going on. You stay in this trunk. And he was like, okay. And anyway, a bunch of shit, crazy shit he heard or thought he heard happened, and then like kind of the next thing he knows, if I recall correctly, presumably his grandma took him back, or no, his grandma took him back in dead silence. Nobody said anything. And they get back, he goes to bed and he sees like this fairy that he describes as like just like this beautiful woman in his room. And then, you know, the next thing he knows, he wakes up and he didn't have nosebleeds anymore. Like, and he says in the thing, he's like, I realize, and I'm not doing it justice, but he says, like, I realize this is like, all of this is fucking insane. He's like, I don't really know if any of this even really happened, but that's how I remember it, is as a child, the reason that I don't have nosebleeds anymore is because my grandma took me to see this witch who summoned a fairy, I guess. But yeah. I think
now I'm like amazing.
I think there's something compelling about it just in terms of like the fact that he, you know, is saying like there's so much of it that he couldn't see. There's so much of it that potentially was a dream. But there's also this air of like, or maybe it was magic. And I'm like, oh, there's something kind of sweet about this idea that some people like that you get in a certain period of history where it's like that magic exists and can impact your life. Where I sometimes I wish I had a belief in that kind of thing, because there's something kind of exciting about it. But you know, I was like, well, you know, now we know it's just drugs. They just probably fed you peyote, 5-year-old Casanova.
Oh, that would have been. Imagine Casanova and peyote, though.
Oh dear. Psychosomatic nosebleeds, maybe. I think that's as good a theory as any. But yeah, I also appreciated that as he's telling that story, he's like, I do know that this is crazy. Like, I don't know what the fuck.
I can't tell you anything.
Probably should have tried medicine, but here we are.
I don't have nosebleeds, so like.
Yeah, I wonder. Well, I do think it's funny that like for all of the weird shit he got up to, that he's primarily remembered for having sex. Like.
Yeah, I remember reading. God, like, here's a problem. Like, I read a lot. I just don't have any memory. Like, it all goes into my head and immediately out.
Mm-hmm.
I never read the autobiography, but I read his Wikipedia page at least twice, because this is what I do. I'll go and read the same things over and over again and then just never remember them. Like, I think I mentioned this on something else. I don't remember where it was or when it was, but like, I think it was on stream. And like West Wing, the episode about shibboleth, I've like looked up what shibboleth means at least 10 times. I still don't remember. So like, I remember reading Casanova's Wikipedia page. I just remember like the stories of him going back and forth between Paris and Venice, and like getting up to a lot of shenanigans with like gambling and like money and debts, and I don't remember what else. He like
hanging out with royalty, and just all manner of shenanigans that have nothing to do with what he did with his genitals. You've got ghosts in your blood. You should do some cocaine about it meme.
About it, I love that.
Hell yes.
That's my personal opinion. I can't espouse it on stream. Probably we will get shut down now. So I did not endorse that. But like,
the shibboleth of is it Fëanor? Probably Fëanor. I don't know.
I mean, now I'm gonna Google it and find out.
Proto James Bond figure. I saw a documentary on the Knights of the Round Table as a child where someone was trying to say that Sir Kay was also like a proto James Bond figure. But I didn't really know enough about him because I focused on other parts of the story that didn't have to do with him.
Fëanor.
Oh, thank you for following us!
Oh, we got a follow?
Yeah, from Revington Steel,
Revington!
Slancha,
My Benedict.
Lasagna.
Lasagna. Wait, I gotta think of something.
So, you know,
I should be making references to, but I can't think of it like a random
bloodthirsty and
much
violent.
ado line to reference.
So good. Came across as bloodthirsty and violent in the Mallory version. So he's like the Daniel Craig James Bond then. It's fine.
I don't know. I've never got into the James Bond thing. Okay, if anyone actually cares about shibboleth because someone mentioned it or you mentioned it, it's a shibboleth is any custom or tradition, usually a choice of phrasing or even a single word that distinguishes one group of people from another. They have been used throughout history in many societies as passwords, simple ways of self-identification, signaling loyalty and affinity, maintaining traditional segregation, or protecting from real or perceived threats. I mean, fair enough to me for not remembering that, I guess.
Yeah, that is a concept.
I feel like there was a carrot? No, I think that's it. Yeah, that's a concept. Lasagna. I forgot we had that emote.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
That's a concept. Lasagna.
Lasagna is a concept. It's a great concept. Honestly, better.
So many layers to that concept.
Hey.
Hey. Oh, I feel like that's something where we're obligated to drink on
That
that.
was really cheesy.
So something that I'm kind of noticing is, I feel, and I would, elves, alphabet films,
Very loud.
Greenwich.
Yeah, well, who the fuck spelled Greenwich?
I wish my horse had the speed of your tongue. Oh.
Of your tongue, I know.
That's for you.
Yeah.
That's for you.
I know it is.
And this is like,
But like, I'll have done whatever. You always end with a Jade's trick. I know you of old.
Lester catches out the Americans as well. I'm just seeing Leo Minster. Leominster. Sasha, whenever the Much Ado quotes are up there, it feels like so some of Sasha's birthday presents have been sent to me so that she can collect them when she's back in Washington. And I
Really?
have
didn't know
accidentally opened one or two because they will be addressed to me, and then I open them. I'm like, oh shit!
I got birthday presents that I didn't buy myself.
I'm trying to look in my little like Sasha's presents hidey hole here.
I got presents. I really didn't expect them.
I have a present or two stashed away from other people.
I'm so excited.
But yes, I don't want to spoil any surprises in that respect. But yeah, it feels the same when I'm like, oh, oh, Much Ado, Sasha. Oh.
Even though Emily is the one who did Shakespeare theater in the park for how many years?
A lot of years. But you know what? Now I'm on a D&D stream and I work in finance. Oh, thank you for the sub! For 2 months, Silent Addie, that is so sweet. Thank you.
Here's to you. We don't know why you do it, but we're really glad that you do.
I'm thrilled. I love it. And I love getting to know all of you guys and gals and non-binary and anybody else.
2 months up, 2 months up, silent. I don't know. 2 months up.
Two. Ding, 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 ding.
We'll figure one out, guys.
I
blame Sarah for starting this thing and me for encouraging this thing.
I have, my musical abilities are not quite there. Was that to the tune of Any Old Iron? I don't know. I was just frantically making noises.
You say you have no musical abilities, but I have heard you sing karaoke, and I can say this woman crushes it with her. I believe in a thing called love.
Oh, that works too.
Touch Me from Rocky Horror. Excellent.
I enjoy doing that one. Eating a block of cheese.
Oh, great choice.
Love it. I'm interested in starting karaoke up again, although I think it's farther away because there's some mask mandate stuff going on again. But
I've missed everything fun.
I don't know.
For the few people who don't know, it's not a lot of them, but I live in DC usually, but in March I sent myself to Tbilisi, Georgia, for 6 months because I could, and it was an adventure, and I want to live abroad, and I want to live somewhere that isn't the U.S. But I left Emily and all my best friends behind, and so I've kind of missed the opening of everything, and now I think everything's going to close before I even really get back in 6 weeks. Bye, Sangaz White Steak.
Bye. But yeah, I mean, no, I don't know. I can't speculate. I hope that is not the case.
So much for my plans to come to the UK for early holidays season. I was gonna look for tickets for early December, but with Delta rate, it's too sad. It's too sad. Let's not do it. I want to read messages that we missed. A block of cheese, fantastic. I recently stepped away from doing so much theater. Streaming podcasting, what a wonderful group to stumble upon. Aw, thanks. I mean, likewise. We could use for some new talent, frankly. Just because I love playing against people. You can fascinate a woman with cheese. There's probably ways of fascinating women with cheese. Some more precarious or controversial than others. And I'll leave you with that thought. Okay, and then Sango, I think, said goodbye,
and that it hurts to leave or part. I think.
Je dois partir just means I have to leave.
Oh, okay.
Emily's like, oh yeah, I can do French because like I speak Spanish and I'm really smart, and I'm like,
It's not it at all.
It's not it at all.
What would be it hurts to leave?
Oh no, now I'm embarrassed. God, why is my French so bad? It's been so long. In the past, like, what is hurts? Guys, it's frankly embarrassing. I used to speak very decent conversational French.
Your French was
my French was très bien.
It was.
But
it
not
was
anymore.
Really good. Ça fait mal de partir.
Ah, ça fait mal. Yes, ça fait mal de partir. Sortir, c'est une injury. Is injury the right word for this? Je ne sais pas. Je ne sais plus. J'ai tout oublié. Tout mon vocabulaire, tout le grammaire.
Blessé.
Maladie. Yeah, I think maladie is probably better. Yeah, blessé is like hit.
Yeah.
Good moaning.
I guess so. Along the lines of doigt, assuming that was hurt.
Douleur. I think you're thinking douleur.
Yes, that was what I was thinking of.
Douleur.
Because I was gonna say it's similar in Spanish and Portuguese, so I was just like, oh, it's douleur. Douleur. Douleur.
If you want a fucking weird language, let's talk about Georgian. Although I barely can because it's now been like a full month since my last Georgian classes. But yeah, talk about how many irregular verbs there are. It's all of them.
Oh no.
Not quite all of, but many, many, many.
That
I sent you
sounds
that article.
deeply unpleasant.
It is. And also, like, trips me up because it's like, mi var, I am, but then chemi, which is my, and I'm like, why can't it be many? It's me, so why is it chemi suddenly? Because it's mi var, shenchar, is aris is, and then, so it's chemi, sheni, misi. The third person changes format or form. I'm just like sense in every situation. Anyway, that's enough Georgian. It's pretty boring. We had.
I was trying to
these are-
absorb it, and I was just like, I can't. I was getting nervous.
Oh, do you want us to get banned on Twitch? I can say really rude things that aren't rude at all in Georgian, but sound very rude in English.
Let's put a pin in that. We're gonna make that a very expensive point buy. But yeah.
Yes, please. Spoon wants it.
I just
It
don't.
sounds very bad out of context.
I don't want us to
You
get
gotta
in
miss it, I can't say that.
trouble. Yeah, I don't. I like being able to spend time with all of you guys and put on a show, and I feel like that might get in the way of that if we get banned.
Okay, but this is funny though. Okay, so what do you do, or like what do you? Yeah, like what is your
Oh.
occupation? I think I told you this because one of the earliest things I
Yeah.
learned, and it is, I mean, the exact pronunciation of like what do you do or what is your occupation is ras suck me a nub. I'm not kidding. And I'm like, I feel like the answer's in the question in certain contexts.
I mean, it's been a.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Spoon.
I'm gonna type it into the
Cheers.
chat so everyone. Oh yeah, we have to drink. So transliterated into Latin letters. For pronounced, I will emphasize, suck me a nub. Anyway, that's it. That's the fun fact. That's your Georgian lesson for today.
What do you do?
I'm very glad. I'm sorry to your dog. I hope he, she is it. I don't know how your dog identifies as well.
I remember when you first introduced that phrase, I was just like, it's been a long quarantine.
Could have been a very fun character name.
Oh no. My hovercraft is full of eels.
Honestly, guys, Georgian's fucking insane. Yeah. I wish I could think of. There are other things that are funny to me, but because they sound like Russian things rather than like English things, so they're less entertaining for this particular audience on stream. Because then I would be translating two different things. It's not that interesting.
I mean, I feel like when I know I like looking at clips from Star Wars when it gets translated into one language, translated into another language, and then back into English. So I'm not entirely convinced that it would be the worst thing ever.
I would have to come up with some things. I can prepare some things for a future stream, but it's gonna be too. I'm just gonna be sitting here racking my brain.
Okay. I feel like we've like an unintentional theme of what.
Okay, stupid things. They're not dirty. They're not naughty, but they are. So the word for girl is go-go. Go-go. And the word for boy is beachy.
Huh.
And like again, not like wrong in any way, shape, or form, but certainly kind of conjures an image to the American's mind, or like to the English speaker's mind.
Vivid, yes.
Yeah. Okay. I see what I can think of. I'll leave it there for tonight.
Beachy.
Yeah.
Peachy.
Beachy.
Give us the twice translated Star Wars lines, and we'll guess the line.
That would be really fun, actually.
Let me see if I can find one here. Or wait, or would I want to put it up on the screen? Frizzy.
Polish for is frizzy herski. I love it. As a Russian speaker, Polish is surprisingly intelligible for me. You'd think Ukrainian would be more so, but weirdly, I can probably like spoken Polish. I can kind of get like 30-40% of it. It's really similar.
That's interesting. Like it makes sense, but in my brain, I never would have imagined that.
No, honestly, same. Ukrainian is so much closer technically, but for some reason the difference in sound, and then also maybe I have expectations of understanding more Ukrainian than I do.
I work with a handful of people from Lviv, and I know I said to them at one point that I was grateful for them, conducting an entire meeting in English, and I was like, at some point, I'll have to learn Ukrainian to make it fair. And they just all laughed hysterically, and they were like, good luck with that. I was like, yeah. Okay.
Got a lovely tutor if you want her. She's in Cherkasy.
I'm trying to find, like...
I mean, you can say "дякую" at least. That's thank you in Ukrainian. That'll be a nice little touch.
That's true. That's a good point. And that would be a good way of, I think, doing that without having to learn Ukrainian.
Yeah, the same thing I do whenever I go to a country. I learn yes, no, hello, thank you, excuse me, sorry, kind of thing.
Gotcha.
Please, please. Usually, like, I know, like, 6 or 7 words in a lot of languages just because...
Where is the library?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's why, even though, so, like, Georgian... Basically, most people here speak either Russian or English as well as Georgian, but I felt very imperialistic coming in and being like, you speak my languages now. So I took Georgian lessons and everyone was like, why are you doing that? You're fine. But I felt like a prick, so.
I like that. That's very thoughtful.
Le singe est dans l'arbre, which is what Not So Figaro, even though the line from Eddie Izzard is Le singe est sous la branche. La souris est sous la table. Le chat est sur la chaise.
French.
I'm
not gonna try. I don't want to embarrass myself again. Ooh, but I can never get other languages words having genders. Hey, it happens. The table's a girl, and
yeah, fair. I mean, honestly, Russian has a third gender, like it. And Georgian has no gender. He, she, it is all one thing. They also don't have any capital letters. So
that's interesting.
Yeah, whenever I'm trying to type Georgian for my Georgian lessons, like homework, I keep hitting shift at the beginning of things that I think should be capitalized, and it just doesn't do anything. And I have to remember to stop doing that.
Something from a minute ago. Who requested this? Tet requested a twice translated Star Wars line. The geography that I stands compares you superior.
The geography that I stands compares you superior?
Yes.
All right, Tet, tell us what that line actually means.
Yes, it is. I have the high ground.
Yeah.
I once taught a class that incorporated learning to sword fight, and I was like to the kids, like, you can pick. I taught it with my colleague Mark, and he taught the sword stuff. I was kind of like, I was an assistant for that, and then I would teach Commedia the other half of the class, and he'd assist me there. But the kiddos were like, what scene should we do for our final? And Mark and I were like, you can do whatever you want, just as long as it makes sense for a sword fight. And two of the kiddos were like, can we do I Have the High Ground? We were like, sure, you can do I Have the High Ground.
I wasn't doing a quote. Is it do not want? You don't want it.
Don't
want. I feel like I do a little bit Welsh. Was it Nazmo who was doing the Welsh lessons for me during Oh, Tet, yes. Excellent. Excellent sword fight.
Excellent sword fight. Well, it wasn't the...
I love Mandy Patinkin.
I do too. It wasn't the choreography from anything. Like, the choreography was all the same because, that's what we were evaluating for the final, but it was more that they needed a scene context of lines to go with it rather than it just being a sword fight in a vacuum.
I see you are left-handed. I remember. It's been so long since I've seen it. I need to rewatch it, honestly.
I know something you don't know.
No. Yeah.
But yeah.
Every time my organization uses the words transparency or accountability, I keep sending my coworkers, you keep saying that word. I do not think it means what you think it means.
Oh.
I'll teach Commedia.
That's so funny.
Between Sengo's Whitesnake and Revington, I think we've just found
we've hacked
pushed them
everybody
together, and it's you.
Yeah. Revington, I'm very interested. I'm trying to think of a question to ask. Is there a character that you find you kind of default to when you're doing Commedia stuff? Like if someone's like, you can be any character for this, that you pick one specifically? Or you're like...
I think what's actually interesting here is that Remington also played the Anti-Capitalist Penguins game, and you specifically told me that you defaulted to a Commedia character.
Yeah.
Your character.
I hadn't prepared as much as I should have, and so in the interest of time, I was just like, I'm gonna be a modified Dottore and kind of get farther away from Dottore as I go. But that was like my starting point because I was just like, I didn't think about this enough.
It was wonderful.
Which is why he was extra big and talked very up here and had a lot of thoughts. A lot of thoughts.
Yeah, I just think if you guys want to come over to like the comrade side, we can like overthrow the capitalists and the bosses and take the means of production because they are ours. Yay!
Yeah, he Billiam was definitely less self-assured than Dottore and less interested in enemas than Dottore. But definitely liked hearing himself talk and going on long diatribes like Dottore.
But he was very convincing.
I've not seen... Oh, yeah. Wait. Now I'm out of water. Uh-oh. No, I couldn't prove it. I couldn't prove that we're different people. But yeah, I was just curious if 'cause I don't always default to Dottore, but Dottore is one that I find I like enjoy the most, or I feel like I like to pull out just bad attempts at Latin and things like that. It's fun. Commedia! Yes.
How did we get here? Sword fighting. Oh, Star Wars things.
Oh yeah. Oh, you started doing. You were Daddy Pants, Pantalone. But then you were cast in The Servant of Two Masters. Worked with the 4th generation Arlecchino. Oh, very cool. Very cool. In Servant of Two Masters, I was what's his face, Silvio, right? That's the name of the one that just wants to fight everyone all the time.
So it's me.
It's me, Silvio.
I just want to fight everyone all the time.
Yeah. I was just there. I wanted to marry my friend Sarah, and I wanted to sword fight Pantalone, and like you do. But that is really cool about the Arlecchino sitch. Especially I find Arlecchino difficult. So kudos to you, Revington.
I've actually, because I never like pursued theater because I hate theater kids.
It's valid.
Specifically, like in groups en masse and like younger. I find a lot of my friends now, specifically like the Shaw's crowd. So I go to this like back in DC before COVID times. I went to this bar, there's like piano bar. There's a lot of theater kids who like to sing, and like music theater people. Like, I just couldn't handle that amount of like need for attention and whatever en masse. But then Emily obviously is my best friend, so like individually fantastic. So I basically abandoned theater quite early, even though I really wanted to get into it. And I actually wrote a paper on like the evolution of the Harlequin, starting with Commedia. And I thought Commedia would be really, really fun to do sometime, but like just haven't really had an opportunity since I abandoned that whole thing. But I always like love the idea of like coming out with like.
Oh my gosh! Oh yeah, a lot of the movements are very engaged physically, which is fun.
Yeah.
But when inevitably the world starts up again, we'll have to see if there's a way to find something that's just like a Commedia class. I'd love to get back into some shiznit.
We would drive Michael insane. It'll be great.
I look forward to that. Any opportunity to drive Michael insane, I like. It was a long transition, but I was in grad school at the time, so I had time to do it. Yeah, I did a bit of Commedia in grad school as well. So we are the same person. I ran out of water, so guys, everyone on the stream, like that's what's happening. Is Rev is just the same person.
Oh, that explains why we're soulmates with the Benedict thing.
It's just it's just me.
It makes perfect sense now. It's just you.
I'm just catfishing you.
I know. Sorry. You know who you are in the chat. She's mine now.
Yeah.
You can't see one of her hands. Fair enough. Yep. Gotta keep both hands on screen at all times. Vogue.
I'm just gonna massage my own shoulders.
It's very theater of you.
Yes. Although I do think in some ways it's like keeping with the theme of the show, which seems, I think as we're going apart from language stuff, one of the things that appears to be emerging is we've been talking a lot about people who are purported magicians. So I am doing a magic trick where I am catfishing you with no hands.
This could be anyone's hands. True enough.
Oh no. I don't know how do I prove how do I
Again.
Is that I don't
back to like prison things. I don't know why I just wanted to mention this. But it's all pre-recorded. Sasha's in on it. Oh yeah.
We're catfishing you. I'm catfishing Sasha, who's catfishing the audience, who is and everyone in the audience is a catfish.
And it's all part of the big plan, if you get what I'm doing here.
Yeah, you're all on the Truman Show, which is also a fish tank. I'm so lost. Illuminati confirmed.
Just like a wink and a nod at Ted. we cannot confirm nor deny anything.
Huh. Interesting.
Figure out Hamley's played by Ted Cassidy, aka Lurch. Huh. That is a fun fact, hand fact thing. I'm good at reading. Listen, it's 2:14 a.m. Admittedly, I have been pounding the wine because I had a very long day and I have no shame.
You've earned it, man. And yes, it is quite late. I'm so glad that you were able to come on and do the thing.
I wanted to mention the Marquis de Sade. Damn it.
Did the Marquis de Sade do magic? I thought he just did sadist stuff.
Mostly convent prostitutes, unfortunately. Less magic than I know of. But we were talking about prison breaks, and it's the exact opposite of a prison break. I can't say poor guy, he was a monster. Got transferred out of the Bastille 4 days before, basically my birthday. So 4 days before Bastille Day, before they raided and released the prisoners. So they were like, yeah, let's go to another prison. He was like, I just find that really fucking funny.
Oh my god. Yeah, there's something weird about that. I don't know. Thing was not originally intended to be a hand, just really shy.
Huh.
Interesting.
I want to know how. How that was envisioned. I guess a full person, but you only ever see a hand?
Maybe
they're so shy?
Maybe a Nosferatu thing where you just see the shadow most of the time. I don't know. I haven't watched Nosferatu in way too long. Robert Eggers is apparently making a Nosferatu, and I need it yesterday. I want to see it. I want to hear what insane, historically accurate accent he's chosen for the situation for no apparent reason. I have
Wait,
so many questions.
remind me. I know the name David Eggers, but I can't like place it to any specific thing.
Robert Eggers is the Lighthouse and the Witch, or the Vivitch.
Which
Hand was
that's
the only
presentable.
Oh, interesting. Interesting.
I mean, same.
Yes.
Just I force this upon you anyway.
Yeah, I mean, historic mages Nostradamus, whose first name I think was, for whatever reason, I'm like Michelle. However you
Michelle Nostradamus.
However you Frenchify, I want to say it's Michelle de Nostradam. Maybe.
It is.
Thank you. But yeah, but in my head though, I was
a junkie of what?
Hearing
Tell
like
us what he was a junkie of.
Michelle and I are going to the mall, except it's like Michelle and I are gonna go predict the future.
in France.
Yeah. Historic. Yeah, I am curious. What was Nostradamus?
I feel like a dummy. I didn't even know he was French. Nostradamus doesn't sound like a French name in my defense.
Yeah. Sampling his own stuff. Oh, goodbye, Revington. Have fun editing.
What are you editing? I need to know. You haven't left yet.
I wish it were my thoughts. They need editing. Yeah. But yeah, Nostradamus does not.
You are gone, though you are here. More. It's I am gone, though I am here. There is no love in you. We'll be friends first. Fucking love that line.
Aw. Friends forever. Also first. Ooh, Monster of the Week. Very fun.
Ooh. Okay. I'm gonna do this Twitter thing. Twitter. Yeah, follow us on Twitter and you send us what you're doing. I wanna know. This is my accent when I wanna know something.
I also want to know, especially if it's a Monster of the Week shenanigan situation. There's so many monsters to do that are enjoyable.
And so many weeks.
So many weeks.
There are be enjoyable.
Over 5 weeks.
So many
weeks. In a life. But yeah, Nostradamus definitely getting high on his own supply. Nosmo knows someone who does a Monster of the Week podcast. Layers. This is the Illuminati lasagna.
Fucking the Illuminati lasagna is very much canon now. This is part of the stream.
Illuminati lasagna.
I love that I am not a high enough tier to use our own emotes.
What? Oh no!
I'm not subbed at tier 2.
Oh, is tier 2 the lasagna?
Tier 2 is lasagna.
I would move Illuminazania. If you say Illumizania 3 times in a mirror with the lights off, Sasha shows up and offers you wine. If we were to make what's the thing? It's not affiliate partner, is it? What's the next?
It is partner. The next one. That's gonna be a fucking journey. We have a long way to go to 75 average viewers.
Yeah. If we
tell a friend.
Tell a friend. Cause I was going to say if we were to hit that point, I would be able to move lasagna to be more accessible. But I thought it was probably more important that the characters that we use be the primary ones available. That and the Good Luck Cabbage, because I love to see when people spam other channels with the the lasagna.
Morning, Hamo.
Morning, Hamo. Yes.
How is Australia? How's Sydney? Not to dox you, but like I feel like it's hard to dox someone by saying a city.
Yeah, the good luck
Also,
cabbage.
everyone here knows you.
That's also true. Yeah, it's just everyone. Now that everyone knows how to magically summon Sasha, though, like, you know, use it sparingly. Like, don't use it for evil. Don't use it so much that she's not able to live her life. Just like occasionally.
Okay, to be fair, I don't think it would be fun to just be summoned when I wasn't expecting it, but like as a just like, you know, travel technique, I would love to just like boom, be in the UK. Like, yeah, let's like it'd be so easy to visit.
I weirdly imagine you enjoying someone trying to summon you and turning them down.
Probably, yeah.
You being like someone in I don't know, I was trying to pick a place.
Portugal.
What? Someone in Portugal is trying to summon me, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to answer them.
I'm just going to like send a lasagna in my place and say Saz on top.
Illum lasagna. But yeah.
I also love lasagna nati.
Lasagna nati.
Lasagna nati and illum lasagna. Not about the forgettable. In the words of my mother, I one time before I started drinking, because I was like 17, and I started a little bit later, well into college, my mother was like, drink this, because I'm going to a party, and I don't want to drink alone beforehand. Anyway, my origin story is clear.
I was just like, I don't know what to add to that.
How did we get to 19 viewers all of a sudden? We've been talking bollocks for over an hour.
I don't know.
And now people are tuning in for some reason.
I'm feeling very loved. We've been talking about all kinds of nonsense, really. It's just been a very stream of consciousness thing. Some guy told you had to be here. Some
other guy who is not I'm dead.
Well played. Well played. Oh my goodness.
I wish there was something I could do to reward that kind of behavior. I'm gonna have a think on it.
Oh, you know what? I was just thinking about. I was like, you know, I love that username. There are a lot of usernames I'm very, very into, like, you know, Jadbod, for example. But I was like, friend of the show.
I know. It took me a long time to get that one. I'm really embarrassed.
We haven't seen friend of the show Jude Law in a minute. I suspect he must be shooting something. He must be filming, and that's why.
It's true. We need a friend of the show, like Dan Levy, just manifesting, just like before, just like putting it out there. Spoon posted a GIF, and I was like, you know what? That would be fantastic.
I saw that. Yeah, I think they could both be friends of the show.
We can have possible friends. We're so friendly.
Yeah, we are. We're great. We are very friendly. Familiar with both of their repertoires, more or less. I when I saw some guy told me, my brain went, somebody once told me, and I was like, no.
Wait. What Doctor Who news? What Doctor Who news?
What Doctor? What?
Tell me the Doctor Who news.
Doctor News.
I am 2 full seasons behind. I wasn't super vibing with like that. I got halfway through. I bought.
About Jodie.
I mean, she's leaving, right? Like, I mean, she's doing 1 more season and that's it, because that's what they do. They do 1 or 2 seasons. That's it.
What if? Oh, that's wow. I've not seen any.
So I knew about Jodie because, frankly, that was always going to happen. I don't even think I've watched enough. I don't think I've watched enough of the Jodie stuff to see the Chris. Yeah, I haven't even met Chris yet. I'm only halfway through her first season because. I have a lot of thoughts about this. Okay, so I've only mostly seen the reboot. Oh, the head writer. That explains why. Thank you. Sorry. I lost track after Rusty TV's, you know, and then
Stephen Moffat,
you know,
yeah.
Moffat, yes, on a topic. And then I forgot the new guy's name. Okay, so I started Doctor Who with the reboot. Actually, Emily started me on Doctor Who. You're the reason I ever watched the whole thing, and then I got super obsessed with it.
It's easy to
second
get
half
super
of
obsessed
college.
with.
Emily, when we lived together, sophomore year of university, was like, you have to come see yourself. Because usually I have very, very curly hair. I mean, you can explain this bit. I don't need to say this bit.
Oh, she just got some River Song vibes when her hair is curly. And there's a lot about the character that I thought she would enjoy, and she did. I also would add, with respect to getting really into Doctor Who in my late teens, I distinctly remember the ninth Doctor seeing ninth Doctor, Christopher Eccleston, commercials advertising Doctor Who on the Sci-Fi Channel. And it was abundantly clear that Charles Dickens was being attacked by zombies. And I did not know what Doctor Who was. I did not care what Doctor Who was. I had been studying Charles Dickens at the time, and there was nothing I wanted more than to watch him get attacked by zombies. And that was what initially got me into Doctor Who. And then I was already a fan of David Tennant because I found him pretty. I was not aware that Doctor Who regenerated, whatever. So, like, when Christopher Eccleston died and suddenly, in a flash of light, turned into David Tennant, wow. This show's the best. How could it get any better? David Tennant, that's how. I don't really, I feel like then people would be like, oh, is 10 your Doctor then? And I don't know. I don't know if I feel strongly enough about any of the Doctors necessarily. They're all different and have pros and cons in their own ways. I haven't seen any of the Jodie Whittaker. I haven't seen any of the Capaldi. I kind of dropped off.
You haven't seen any of the Capaldi? I forgot about that. Oh, that drives me insane. Okay, so here's my thoughts on it. So I came into it because Emily, when we lived together, said you have to see yourself, and it's the episode Sons of the Library and Force of the Dead. And after and I was like, oh, I don't really feel like it. Blah, 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 blah. And then after the first episode ended, Sons of the Library, I was like, can we watch the second part? Just like immediately, I was like, can we continue? And then you like very wisely, and I've gotten at least 6 or 7 people into Doctor Who since by doing the same thing, getting them on those 2 episodes, that 2-part story, and then making them start from the beginning, and like sit through the horrible fucking Slitheen and their fart jokes, which I do not abide. I'm sorry, I don't find fart jokes funny. But Eccleston fantastic, David Tennant fantastic, and what is it? And then I was really with Moffat for a bit there. I just anytime River Song was on, I was happy. I liked basically all of series 5, but then halfway through season 6, it just got too fucking insane, and the production was fantastic, but they lost. Like, I think the fact that they made it so fast-paced in the Matt Smith era with Stephen Moffat, that like it became these super high-quality productions that were too quick. You didn't get invested in the characters like you did in the earlier seasons. Like, you just don't care anymore. And I couldn't get myself invested in any of these things, and I got really annoyed. And then it really jumped the shark a few times with like some of the weird time travel loopholes. Admittedly, as River Song being one of my favorite things, became very not great as like one of the plot points. As a character, fantastic, but like as she was written, story-wise, come on. And then first season of Capaldi, they just didn't know. Fucking dinosaurs in a spaceship. I'm so mad about that. And like the Power of 3 episode in Matt Smith era, it had so much potential, but then like they built it up, and then resolved it like that. It should have been like a 2 or 3 episode arc. It was so good. No, they just didn't take the time. I have really intense feelings about this. And then Capaldi came in, and the first season suffered from all the same issues and just wasn't great. But the second season, they found his character. They really did. So I think everything, Series 6, we're talking to the Brits, Series 6, second half, Series 7, Series 8, even maybe Series, I can't remember if Season 9. I think those 2.5 series, trash. Sorry. Just like individual good things that happened, but overall not as good. And then Capaldi Series 2, found his character, found a lot of heart, found the soul of Doctor Who again, I think. And like the rest of his tenure was really great. Really, really great. And I fucking love Capaldi. I was so excited. I didn't know the others before I started watching. David Tennant was for me first the Doctor, Matt Smith the Doctor, but Capaldi I'd already known as Malcolm Tucker. So when they announced him, I lost it. It was amazing. And then they really found it. So I think skip all that, or maybe watch individual episodes, but then watch the second 2 series of Capaldi. And then Whittaker, I bought her season when it came out on Prime because we don't have the BBC channels. And it's just been fine. Like, she's good, but I hate the fact that they brought in 2 men to, balance out the 2 women. So, like, they bring on a woman doctor, but then immediately neutralize her agency or, autonomy. And then I like the characters. They're great. I like them a lot. But, like, it's still, like, a shitty move on their part. And then, yeah, the stories themselves were fine, but didn't quite get me the same way. Anyway, I still need to finish that first series, let alone the rest of them. And I've finished ranting because that's most of my rant. I want to know everything that's been said. But I will let you respond first, and then we can go back and see the chat because there's been a lot of chat since.
Most of my thoughts have been little things just because I'm not as well informed in terms of having kind of gotten to a point in some of the Matt Smith seasons and being like, you know what? I saw The Rings of Van Cotton, I had a good time, and then I was like, I get the feeling that it's going to be drudgery for a few episodes after this, and I don't feel like it. And then I just didn't feel like it for an extended period of time, and now it's 2021, and I'm so far behind that it's intimidating to get back into it. And then I think it's a shame in some ways because I do hear Capaldi is quite good, gives quite a performance. I guess eventually from what you were saying. I'm trying to remember. I remember there's
Such
like
a fan. I love him so much.
Yeah, and I feel like there's a reason. I'm trying to remember, but like I remember years and years and years ago, everyone was like, "Oh, if the Doctor's going to be a woman, it's going to be the 13th because there's something in the canon, there's something in the like mythology of it. I don't remember what it is, but something about either regeneration becoming more unstable over time, or I don't know what. But even that's kind of negated by Romana just kind of like changing her body constantly because she likes to. So it's whatever.
I know just enough about the old Doctor Who to know about that stuff. I watched some of the old stuff. I watched the Aztecs. I watched Problem is I found some of it on like BritBox and was watching it, but it was so much of it is lost.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, please continue.
Oh no, I was just the chat is saying the regeneration limit. Old canon was only at 12.
Yeah, it's kind of why they built the fucking her song thing, and she just gave him all her regenerations. I remember that being like how. Yeah, I remember that's how like the loophole was. Like, oh, that's what that was. Okay, I see what you did there.
But per coming full circle, my introduction to David Tennant was actually the Russell T Davies miniseries Casanova. It's coming around.
I had a feeling it was. Yeah, I thought so. I remember you.
So good. I remember it being so good. I've not seen it in a very long time. Our memories of things are sometimes much better than they in fact are.
I watched it long after you because I watched it after the whole Doctor Who thing and in my early 20s I think is when I watched it, and it was fine. Sorry, Jedbot. I'm sure it was brilliant. You should watch it.
I liked that it was a sort of sleek and zany take. And I think they also did a decent job of trying to kind of like almost make Henriette the through line or that like core of the story or whatever. Like it was good. I like I said, I remember it vividly. I haven't seen it in a very long time though.
Fair enough. I also get pretty easily drawn into shows with David Tennant. I did not want to like Broadchurch is not my type of genre, but I'm there for it.
Yeah, there are a handful of David Tennant shows that I was surprised I was here for, and there are a handful that I was not as here for. I still don't know what to do with Blackpool, for example. Yes.
I just want to say good omens.
Good Omens.
Good
Series
Omens is
2 is coming.
Season 2.
So excited. So good. Yeah.
And I love that there was context for it too. Like Neil Gaiman said that like he and Terry Pratchett had already like kind of thought through what that story would be like. So even if Terry Pratchett wasn't co-writing it, which I think it will suffer from because I actually have mixed feelings about Neil Gaiman. I was like halfway through the 5th book of his when I realized I didn't actually like his writing. And I know that's like enough to get me burned at the stake, but I think some of the stories are good, but like his anywho, I just realized like it wasn't quite a thing. So I wonder how the actual writing of it will change when it's just him. But they also work together enough that I feel like he could probably channel some of that if he wanted to be very true to Origins.
Maybe. I know you for ages and ages, years and years. I don't know if I could write as if I were you necessarily.
But we didn't write together is a different story.
Maybe. That's fair.
I feel like you could imitate my like stupid chat style or like stupid jokes I make all the time. No, Ted, don't say that. Just don't, I want to believe. Or as in this poster that's on my wall in this Airbnb, I want to believe.
Does it say believe?
Yeah, they kind of missed the extra E in there.
Oh, I love that so much. Steal it.
I can't post it anywhere. I'll post it on the
Twitter
on the
Discord, yeah. As the Watch. Wind up as the Watch. I'm trying to. I might be losing my mind at this point. The Watch is that a reference to Game of Thrones? Is it a pun because you wind a watch and you're saying wind up the watch? I'm so in the weeds with
David as Pumpkins.
With David as with the watch. But yeah, Tennant and Sheen, their deal is great. We're all mad here.
Yeah, we all float down here.
You'll float too.
Speaking of things that give me absolute nightmares, ran out of bathrooms after that. My dad showed it to me when I was way too young. Okay, I do really want to read. I missed all of the chat while we was doing the big rant about Doctor Who.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Sherlock became. I don't know if I want to call it super shit. I think Doctor Who became shit. I think I noticed it around the same time that Sherlock was amazing. So I think Moffat just couldn't like stretch his like energies across both shows because. Well, I mean, Scandal in Belgravia is one of the best pieces of television I've ever seen in my entire life.
It's funny. So we've talked about this before, and it came into play in Sherlock and it came into play in Doctor Who. Sometimes, and it even comes into play like in some episodes of Coupling. Sometimes I feel as though when Moffat is writing, he thinks of his characters as chess pieces more than people. I don't know. And sometimes it's a bummer.
I could feel that in the Doctor Who Moffat era for sure. Although, maybe I'm even thinking about. Did Moffat leave after Capaldi? I think so.
Chat, help! Did that happen? Is that a thing?
I'm trying to think of like.
Yes.
For example,
yes.
the character Me, which I find. God, what's her name? The girl plays Arya Stark. I say girl, she's a woman, but she looks like a girl.
Oh, Maisie Williams.
Maisie Williams. I find her really odd. I find her off-putting.
Oh, interesting.
I know, and I think it's just a me thing, but me, because that was her character name. But really, like, as Arya Stark, great, fantastic, got it. But then, like, as anyone else, especially playing a grown woman with like very like. She looks like a girl, and I can't quite get that out of my head. And so the character she plays on Doctor Who, for me, was very odd and like didn't really sell it. Like she's a great actor.
Oh, Rufus acted with her.
Acted with her. Interesting. Yeah, I need to look up. I need to go back. So here's the thing. I know Rufus was on Doctor Who, but I still haven't gone back and watched that episode since I started watching Questing Time.
Maybe we could watch it together. Have like a stream party.
That'd be really fun.
Actual friend of the show, Rufus Hound.
Actual Rufus Hound. He's up to anything. Friend of the stream, Rufus Hound. Not yet. Friend of a friend of the stream.
He was a highwayman. Sign me up. That's all I needed.
Okay, her username is like Chick Turpin, so yeah.
All I needed. Sold.
In case anyone doesn't get the reference, it's Dick Turpin.
To
be fair, I don't know if everyone knows Dick Turpin. Okay. Let's see. John Bishop in the next season. What? John Bishop in the next season? Oh, I think I may have seen that. I think it's gonna be funny. I don't think it's gonna like a huge revelation, but that'll be interesting. I'm looking forward to that. Chicken Stuff's been mediocre best. I just haven't seen enough of it, but what I saw, yeah, was just that. Capaldi's incredible. 100% agree. Obsessed, honestly, but like Emily knows I have an old man thing. And I think I'm developing like a Glaswegian thing. Not just a Scottish thing. I'm sorry. It's just
I don't know. It just caught me off guard. H Bomber Guy's video on Sherlock. I watched the whole thing. I found it fascinating. He made a lot of good points. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Another thing I'll say is...
No, it's fine. I'm just holding my place so I don't scroll up and down every time. I have to find the spot again.
They also brought up with respect to Moffat writing stuff, Dracula, and I had to briefly just be like, fucking the Moffat Dracula.
What, Moffat Dracula? What?
Yeah. Oh, you haven't seen the Moffat Dracula?
No. Which is this?
This is the one with the nun. No, okay, so it's a fairly...
I've seen Nosferatu, and I've seen the Keanu Reeves Winona Ryder one. That's it.
Okay, so,
And I've seen that really awful production when we were both at Pitt.
Oh, jeez.
And Dave, what's-his-face, was in it. It was so bad. It was really bad. It was so bad that it lives in my memory.
I don't remember it that vividly, to be honest with you. So the two BBC Draculas in recent memory that I know of is the Moffat one and then the one that had Sophia Myles in it. I don't remember that one very vividly because it was a while ago.
Sophia.
Is it? Oh, I apologize.
She's apparently besties with Rufus Hound, and they were both in the Trivial Pursuit thing, which is how I know these things.
Oh, I apologize for mispronouncing her name. Sophia Myles, Dracula. I don't remember it very vividly. I just remember them making a lot of choices that I found profoundly odd. And then the Stephen Moffat one, chat, would you say it's fair to say that it goes a bit off the rails? A lot. Oh, Jekyll. Jeez. Oof, Jekyll. I don't even know where to begin on that one. But yeah, I will say, so one of the things I'll say that's a positive in terms of the Moffat Dracula, I really enjoyed Nun Van Helsing because she was a fucking lunatic. And that was what I enjoyed. She was this deadpan lunatic. She would do all kinds of dangerous, strange things as if it was the most normal thing in the world. First episode goes some places.
Bring up its own arse.
Second is okay, but yes, I agree. There is a concept in the third surrounding fire that I thought was interesting. It is pretty standard for Moffat. Because, Sasha, it does sound like you were interested in it, so I don't want to entirely spoil things. So, you know, the cremation thing I thought was interesting in the third one, but yes, the third one does disappear up its own ass. Arse. 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 Reverse.
Arse, just Father Jack. Reverse.
First episode. So, maybe I'm remembering the first episode wrong, but something that I was frustrated by was I think that, generally speaking, with vampirism, it's inherently sexual. It's very difficult to separate the biting someone's neck and draining their blood and being like, there's something sexual about this. So I think when it comes to Jonathan Harker and Dracula, there's something there, and I think that's really profoundly informed by Bram Stoker and his being closeted and everything else. In the first episode, when Agatha asks Jonathan, like, you know, did you have sex with Dracula? If I recall correctly, generally it was just like, no. And I felt very frustrated by that. I was just like, why would you introduce that? And if it's not a thing. Why would you start this? And and not finish it. So, but maybe I'm forgetting and he did, but I feel like I would have remembered that if he had. But anyway, it was just one of those ones where it was just like, did you have sex with Dracula? And it was just like, boom! And you're like, oh shit! Oh, here we fucking go! And then it was just like, just kidding.
I thought it was pretty clear that they did.
Oh, did they?
Maybe they did and he just said no?
Or maybe they did and I just forgot, which is also very possible. Maybe I just didn't interpret something that was really clearly subtext. He hallucinated me. Oh! Okay, so this is one where I should have interpreted it that way, and I did not. That makes a lot more sense. Okay, so now we know. Never mind, I take it back then. He did have sex with Dracula, and in a way that is problematic, but I mean, Dracula's the bad guy. It's just... Anyway.
Yay, gay things.
I mean, I think...
that's not sarcastic, that's me saying.
No, I agree. Vampires are bisexual.
You know that, they don't know that.
Or pansexual. It's just a known thing. That's just how they roll. Right, chat?
That's out of control.
Agree with me? Vampires are...
Girl, look at that body. Anytime anyone says that's how I roll, I immediately launch into that song. Immediately. There is no escaping it. It's like if someone says in the summertime, I immediately go, and the weather is hot. Yeah, my head just like goes to immediately that song.
Disappointed with how Mina was treated. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot to be desired in the BBC Dracula. But fan of Agatha for sure. Vampire parties that they show, definitely. Yep. Yeah, he was a decent Dracula. I thought he did a good job. There are good components to the BBC Dracula. I think it would have been nice if it had finished strong. Also, weird choice to have the entire second episode on on the Demeter, on the boat. On the boat.
The boat is a metaphor, clearly.
It's a metaphor for a boat. A boat. A boot.
A boot. Things about transitional spaces. Do I hear a Sly?
You did hear a Sly.
Show us the Sly.
He's yelling at me. He thinks it's time for dinner and meds. It is not yet time for dinner and meds, bud.
First in the game episode, Jadbot mentioned the everyone loves that one, the Idris as the TARDIS episode.
Oh yeah.
Genuinely good. I'm like just still trying to catch up on this chat.
I'm seeing Nosmo saying that the trip on the Demeter was his favorite bit of the book Dracula, and I don't have a problem with that. I think it's a compelling part of the book. I just meant it's a relatively short part of the book, and at least in my recollection, compared to the rest of the story. So I was very surprised to see an entire episode of a 3-episode series be on the boat.
Oh. Okay. If you want to talk Dracula, we can talk Dracula, but I never interrogated you about companions. Because Nosmo has raised that Clara stayed on far too long, and I fucking hate Clara. Because Clara is the manic pixie dream girl of Doctor Who fans, and she was too perfect in every single possible way, had zero flaws, and just like, and I think they really went, they just went that aggressively in that route. I think they started with Amy Pond, but Amy Pond had some flaws. She was still human. She was still real. Absolutely. And then Clara was just this absolute, whatever. I don't know. I thought she was boring. I thought she was not relatable. I thought she was too something.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I wasn't.
People have very strong feelings about this, but I'm just gonna say, Donna was my favorite, and I'll leave it there.
Donna was also my favorite.
Yes.
I did enjoy the pawns. But yeah, Donna is a standout companion in my head. But of course, I'm speaking from a rather limited perspective in that I've not seen quite a bit yet.
Oh, Bill was fantastic. So that's one thing that you did miss. I think you would really like Bill from the Capaldi series. It's actually, I think it's a crime that Bill only got one series when Clara got like three. Bill was a much stronger character and much more interesting. Nardole, oh, love Nardole. Again, one that you've missed. Rose, huge fan of Rose. Honestly, fantastic. Like she's probably second. I'd say Donna, Rose, Bill. I don't really consider Nardole like a proper companion. He's around, played by Matt Lucas, as a reference. Um, and then on bottom of the pile is Clara. Second bottom is Martha, and then everyone else in between. Oh yeah, I guess it's just least Amy really. Amy and Rory. Really, you had a thing for Rory who blew.
Interesting.
Yeah, I will say I did not, but fair enough.
Oh wow. They had something else lined up, but Catherine Tate said yes to the whole thing. I love it.
She's a familiar I didn't think she'd accept. Oh, she's so okay. Oh, there's so many people who hate her, and I think that's very interesting how polarizing the companion thing is because either people love Martha and hate Donna, or they like, exactly the opposite. And
I enjoy that Donna, first of all, calls him on his shit, but second of all, sometimes does acknowledge when things are objectively insane. Many of the other companions are like, I'm on the spaceship and everything is insane because I'm on the spaceship and nothing matters because I don't understand reality anymore. Donna sometimes just be like, I'm sorry, what? And I appreciate that.
Yeah. I think, okay, so here's the thing. Fair enough to the UK folks about Catherine Tate generally not having great comedy. I will say I have tried to watch some of her other stuff, and the only sketches I enjoyed were Lauren Cooper. I'm not saying it's good comedy. I will say I found it funny.
My lord, I am not Bovered.
I'm not even Bovered.
My liege. Sorry.
Yeah, my liege. I know, it's a really good one. I will say none of her other sketches have I ever found funny. And actually, I did watch the recording of the David Tennant and Catherine Tate Much Ado at Nothing. And it was terrible. It was not believable in the slightest. But what I am speaking of is actually mostly, I've spoken to Americans about this because, believe it or not, my friends, you are my main UK friends. Haven't really engaged you all as a group until pandemic and the Discord and kissing time. So I'm speaking to people who did not see any of Catherine Tate's previous comedy and were solely judging her on her character in Doctor Who. And yes, I agree. Do not love her comedy. I think her companion was as a companion was incredible because it was again after Martha was a refreshing breath of air, not being desperately in love with him, and I think that's exactly what they were going for, and it worked very well. It was very Buddy. It was very pure. It was very honest. The chemistry was exactly right for Buddy, which is why I can't believe they fucking did Much Ado as Beatrice and Benedict because it makes no sense. And it broke me that she learned her own worth and then that was taken away from her.
Yeah, oh god.
The Doctor don't, I mean, that, the two episodes of Doctor Who that make me cry are the one where Rose gets stuck at the end of her, basically the last episode of Rose, or the Dalek episode, and the last episode of Donna. Yeah.
It's awful.
I mean, I think it's just extremely relatable to be like, I'm nothing, I'm no one, I'm not important. I can be angry and scream and shout at the world because nothing matters, and that's very much something that I personally identify with, and I think a lot of people do, and I think is something that's much more real than many of the other companions I think interact with. And then she learns her own importance and the value and the exploration and the wonder and the curiosity and everything else, and then it's just taken from her. Awful, 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 awful. I could cry now, but I won't. That's it. Anyway, that's my speech about Dr. Donna and Donna being the best companion.
Particularly tragic. Yes,
and the most relatable.
Yeah. Well, and like I said, I appreciated, usually when the Doctor was up to his trying to be a Byronic hero almost kind of thing, where it's just like sulking, like, no, you wouldn't understand. It was just, it was refreshing to see someone rather than being like, oh, he's so broody, just being kind of like, hey, task at hand.
Yeah.
I enjoyed
What the fuck
that.
is going on? Is that fucking Agatha Christie? What the fuck?
Making some choices.
Mm-hmm.
The little, seeing Tep mentioned, similar to Little Britain sketches, where the early sketches were alright, but, you know, they just did the same thing for years. Sometimes when I hear someone say, like, local people, I think of, you know, this is a local shop for local people. For some reason like that, I think that's, like, the only one that has stuck with me from that, that series. But yeah, Donna.
I'll just quickly say, Spoon, the rant has been building a lot. I know it's like 20 minutes ago. Rant has been building for a long time.
Oh, that was League of Gentlemen. My bad.
All of these rants that I have been yelling for a very long time. It's not been building. It just lives there rent-free.
So I apologize. That was League of Gentlemen. Are they in any way related or something? Like, or am I just crazy? I feel like I've got so many of my wires crossed tonight. I'm glad for the chat just like fact checking me, because I am wildly saying things that are not true all night. They're not related at all. Yep, I'm just crazy. I'm just gonna start saying, I should just start saying everything. Just start.
That's what I do.
Yep.
We had plans for tonight. It just went out the window.
That's fine. That's fine.
I'd make you read my tarot, but it's also been 2 full hours, and I strongly recommend we let everyone who's been held here go.
Yeah.
I think it's like a type of hostage situation now. I know they're technically here of their own volition, but I don't necessarily believe that. I think it's a mercy thing.
Yeah. Like I appreciate them just being like, just hanging out with us. And once again, I genuinely do appreciate the fact checking.
Yeah, we need you. We don't know things. We pretend to know things. Specifically, I pretend to know things. Emily knows some things.
But some things quite wrong.
And some things are not always right.
Yeah.
So.
Don't know.
Yeah. No, absolutely lovely to have had you all here. Thank you for hanging out with us, especially on these absolute Doctor Who rants, which I think touch on a lot of nerves because people have a lot of opinions. I'm hoping whoever the new... I just don't see how they can resuscitate this, to be honest. I think they'd have to go back... I mean, the camp was such a thing. I don't want to get us back into this. I'm not going to.
I just thought of something insane that should not happen, but I was like, what if the new Doctor is a baby?
No. What is wrong with you? I mean, I guess they could kind of go very, like, not Tudor, but, like, any kind of royal lineage kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where?
I don't know. Like,
where it's actually, like, a 10-year-old.
It's a horrible idea. It just...
The new Doctor is actually, like, a 5 or 6 or 10-year-old, and, like, the companion is just like, do you need something? Do you want to save the day?
Yeah.
Like, and then has really good ideas, but then has to communicate through his, like, you know, stuffed animal.
Yeah, just is language.
Whispers to the person, like. Okay.
Sorry.
We don't have high hopes, unfortunately. It seems like in general, us or the chat, and we will leave it there. I think, like Stormageddon.
Yep. All right. Thank you, guys.
Genuinely a pleasure. Thanks for putting up with us.
You're lovely. Have a good night. Sleep tight.
Have a good night, everyone.
Unless you're Hamo, in which case, have a great day in Straya.
Oh, Hamo fucked up ages ago, probably.
No, Hamo's right there.
Hi, Hamo.
Thank
Sorry,
you.
I just assumed you didn't like us that much.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Good night. Oh,